Well, I don't watch regular cable television. Hell, I don't even know what network Drew Barrymore shows on, nor did I even know that she had a talk show, but this came across everybody's feed today, okay? Just this absolutely bizarre interview with this relatively obscure individual until they underwent a bunch of trans surgery and got a bunch of tickets to go to some famous places. Like, what value has Dylan Mulvaney brought to the world in general? Okay, posted some blogs. It's like, oh my god, it's my 12th day of being a woman. It's like, okay, great, wonderful, fantastic. What substance do you bring? Okay, what value do you bring to the societal discourse? Well, you make somebody who has a well-established Hollywood career get down on your knees for you, okay, and you guys just have this powwow on national television, okay, they both go down there, oh my god, your guy, the struggle is so very inspiring, and we just need to embrace, but it's really funny, and a lot of other people, and I can't take credit for this joke, of course, but here you are, right at the peak of wokeness. You have a woman down on her knees for a biological man. I mean, like, full fucking circle at this point in time, but that's what society wants. Like I said, it's right there. It's right on Front Street. Okay, it is on network television in front of a bunch of entitled white women in the crowd. You can see filmed in front of a live studio audience, as you can see, and they're all just clapping like seals. Now, I don't know if this is copyright, otherwise I'd play it and we'd all suffer through it, but I think you get the gist of it. I don't know what's to be gained from this interview. Probably not a whole lot. Even if there were some insightful thoughts put across, chances are they're not. You would never see in the spot that Dylan Mulvaney, is that the female name of that she's running with? How very original. But you wouldn't see Chloe Cole or anybody who's gone through detransitioning come across and is like, yeah, we were indoctrinated and, you know, shit's a little bit fucked up, but hey, now we've made it out the other side and we want to make sure that nobody else is going to go through that same suffering. But no. They don't want to push that, man. They just want to put weakness, confusion, just a whole bunch of nonsense into people's heads. Because let's be honest, that's what this is, okay? If you're trans, if you're gay, if you're part of the whole alphabet agenda, that's totally fine, man. What you guys do behind closed doors between two consenting adults, and that's a very important distinction in 2023 with the push towards all of that super degenerate, ultra haram shit. I don't care, man. I have my proclivities, you have yours. It really doesn't fucking matter. And when you're a successful individual, not trying to brag, not trying to boast, anything like that. It's just outside of topic or talking about topics such as this, I don't think about this stuff ever, okay? My mind is normally more concerned with how I can become a more complete, better, smarter, capable individual. I could give less of a fuck if I want to invert my dick where the next place it's going to call home is. That is such a low ROI activity. Like, even chasing bitches, man. I gotta love me some girls, okay? 100%, they're fantastic and wonderful and all that jazz. But in the grand scheme of things, spending every waking hour of the day wondering, oh my god, is this girl gonna text me back? Oh, am I gonna get a DM return from her? It's such a fucking vacuous activity. Because when it's all said and done, what do you have to go do? Go do a fucking song and dance in front of them because your average run-of-the-mill bitch just has absolutely nothing to offer at a fucking date? Like, come on. Been there, done that, and got the stupid t-shirt. That's why I spend hours and hours every single day leveling up, getting smarter, watching content that makes me a more capable, perceptive individual. Not getting bogged down with, oh my god, did you see the tranny on the Drew Barrymore show? No. Neither should you. You should be spending your time a little bit more productively. But it's so easy. It is so easy to just turn on the old boob tube or whatever you call flat screen televisions now. That's how long I've been out of the game. And just consume whatever they put in front of you. Because the powers that be, whatever you want to call them. I'm not much for conspiracy theorists. Frankly, I just kind of think that it's the people who are calling the shots, the people who are in charge of the money, know that if you market towards the liberal white woman who's just all accepting, all inclusive towards all of these stupid ass ideas, there's money in them there hills. Because even if a woman is pro-choice or pro-life, especially pro-life, on the pro-life side, I use that as an example because that's been an example that has been used multiple times before. They'll say that, no, I'm pro-life, life begins at conception, all that jazz. Tend to agree. But when it comes to enacting laws, when it's time for the rubber to hit the road, or there should have been a rubber involved before having this conversation to begin with. Anyways, they don't ever want to infringe on the rights and the abilities of other women for a vast majority of people out there. You might have one strongly held belief, but you wouldn't want to foist that on anybody else now, would you? Because even if you see what you would consider to be detrimental behavior out there in society, you wouldn't want to call it out because you wouldn't want to ruffle any feathers. You wouldn't want to cause any problems that's out there because you see examples of people who call out this shit and then they just get chewed up and spat out by the system. Case in point, the subject of much of the video here today. We had the Tates. Tates are going to be in court in Romania over the next couple of days. Andrew, his bail hearing has been heard and a verdict has been rendered. Tristan's appeal is going to be heard tomorrow. And this is all in regards to bail. Finally a bail hearing. Even though the boys have been snatched up since the end of December, this is the first time that they got an official hearing when it comes to bail. Put up money so that they can go home for the duration of the trial. Or I'm sorry, for the duration of the investigation, because they still haven't been charged with anything. These guys have not been charged with anything. Nothing. Zero. Butt kiss. But you still have idiots all over the internet going, they're human traffickers. That's what they're being investigated for. But that investigation has turned up that much fucking evidence. Meanwhile, they won't even bother looking at any of the exculpatory evidence that's out there. All the CCTV camera footage, the girls in the WhatsApp messages saying, oh yeah, we're just going to go ahead and stage that, as well as on top of other messages that are out there, which I'll try and find in the interim, but I heard that they also just outright blackmailed, I think Andrew on that one, by, yes, you pay me this, otherwise we're going to the authorities. Very interesting. All of that stuff is out there, and apparently the defense counsel also has another mountain of evidence that would just go ahead and exonerate them, but the prosecution's going, oh, that's nice, yeah, no, mountains of evidence, oh yeah, it'll be coming out any time now. Those fucking morons that are all over the internet just lapping up every fucking press release. It's funny because this is one of those subjects that really divides a bunch of people. Like, they intrinsically hate the Tates because reasons, but if this was just another situation involving a couple of different people, you just go ahead and interchange the people, same scenario, being unjustly imprisoned. Oh, they'd be deep diving, they'd be taking a look at those press releases from the government, being incredibly skeptical. But no, this is those big bad mean misogynists that are out there, and we believe that women are just as good as men and that equality among the genders. You fucking dorks. You don't understand anything at all. These are the same people that think that, oh, it's about time these evil, self-professed alpha males, these toxically masculine individuals corrupting the youth. But then at the same time, they won't do a goddamn thing about the fucking all-ages drag show that's going down at their church at the end of the fucking street. Goddamn mongoloids. But yes, this is from a couple of days ago. Obviously, today's the day when it comes to the bail hearing for Andrew himself. And leading up to said day, Eugene Vidnayak, we got a picture? Yeah, we do, in the ruling that came out, which obviously everybody knows at this point in time what it is. But the justification and the reasoning behind the separate bail hearings for both Andrew, Tristan, and then for the girls as well. Why everybody has separate court appearances, because it's like, okay, they're all snatched up under the same charges. It's just, why is there different hearings? Because Romania can't do anything uniformly? Is that what we're finding out? So, this is directly from the lawyer. We can go ahead and get rid of the stupid caption boxes. Okay, so the requests are different, okay, between all of the different people that have been snatched up, as are the reasons for which the extensions of the preventative arrest warrant was ordered, and for a legal point of view, it seemed to us a correct reasoning to formulate the request in such a way, he declared. Asked if house arrest was being considered, and I was like, well, it was for the girls, until the court was like, yeah, that was a fun trick that we pulled over the weekend. No, actually, they're going to be staying here. Asked, yes, if house arrest unjust is being considered, the Tate brothers' attorney said no. That would not be discussed at today's hearing. Yes, this is a bail hearing. The extension or the termination of the preventative detention will be heard in, on, and around next week, probably Monday, because I think that was the last time back in February. It was in, on, and around the 20th. So anticipate something like that, because the 30-day period would be until, I think, the 27th or 29th, depending on everything that shakes out, because they've been in custody, remember, since December 27th, 2022. They have not been free individuals. They have not been outside of the confines of a Romanian courthouse or a Romanian jail in all of 2023. And it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Anyways, he also asked why he is on bail now, and he replied that this is what the defense and the defendants considered. No, this is not discussed today, because that's what the defense and the defendant considered. And did I just read all of that? Today, I have the exceptions that any application is accompanied by expectations of good results. You don't apply just to walk to court, right? Bail has not been set, he added. Yes, that was one of those early, and that's why I thought that this was kind of a good sign that, you know, at least something's moving. It's because immediately when the boys were snatched up, nope, no bail for these guys, they're flight risks, and now we're 3 months halfway through the detention period that can go up to 180 days. So still looking at, and highly likely to just drag their feet for as long as possible. But I don't know, maybe a little foolishly optimistic, a little bit of optimism in a time of darkness that something's going to change, thanks to the fact that there's finally a bail hearing happening. Maybe at the end of the month, I don't know. I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was at any other point in the detention. Otherwise, yeah, if there's nothing that's going to be moving at the end of the month, I would wholly expect the entirety of the detention period. The boys not coming out until the end of June. Fucking Christ, man. It's ridiculous. From a legal point of view, last message here. From a legal point of view, the request carry a request. The request carries a request. You love the interpretations going on here, or the translation errors, I guess, to replace the measure with judicial control on bail, not with house arrest, which is why the expectation is the administration will request for judicial control on bail, not house arrest. Okay, it's simple, said a lawyer of the two millionaires. So yeah, man, full and total bail was what they were looking for. Put up some money, whatever it would have been, set the bail, meet the bail, and then just go on until the end of the investigation, and then obviously have your bail returned, because where's the fucking evidence? Yet to see any. Oh, but the prosecution has press releases that says that there's a lot of evidence and it'll become available. Fucking show it. Show it. Because we've seen a whole hell of a lot from the defense that show that none of those girls, 2 of the accusers, just coming to and fro the Tate compound, popping pussy all over TikTok and Instagram, Snapchats, everywhere. All of the evidence, corroborating stuff behind the scenes in WhatsApp, getting their parents involved, and then just days after the big raid that happened in April, for fuck's sakes, they're going to be in jail, more than likely, a year after the initial raid, and they still haven't come up with fuck all. Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. But the girls out there, Aliona and Emma, or Emily, whatever, Miami chick and the Moldovan UK girl. Put a pin in that for a second, because we're going to come back to the UK very, very, very shortly. But them, all over the map, just really looking like victims. Or the 2 other girls that's like, yeah, no, the Tates are fine. No, you've been brainwashed. All right. And then 2 other girls, apparently, that's what we're told. Haven't heard fuck all about them, but the other 2, or rather, just to be concise, the 4 victims hardly fit the description. Hence why the judge decided to, we're just going to go ahead and deny bail because my flight risk or some shit like that. Eugene Vidnayak, our lawyer right here, at first sight, the court's decision is illegal, he continued, because the inadmissibility principle concerns a question of the impossibility of the judicial act. A principle cannot be applied in this case. Now, to be fair, that is some legalese at the highest account. And he's made some claims that, this detention is illegal. I know. But it's still continuing. As much as I would love to shape the world in my own image and just live my life with shoulds, coulds, woulds, and is, or rather ought, We got to live in a world that is right now. And yeah, an unjust detention, that's all cool and well and fantastic, but how does that get the crew out of the prison right now? So yeah, so the decision can be appealed. Tristan Tate is still due for his request on bail tomorrow. Chances are that one's going to get turned down. The girls probably have the best shot, but I still wouldn't put that above 30% because they were initially granted house release about a month ago at this point in time, but then that was rescinded on appeal. So who knows, man? There's just going to be more paper shuffling back and forth, and realistically at this point in time, for anybody to keep this message alive, kind of falls on the backs of social media. Like, you got Tucker Carlson continuing to just champion the cause, but outside of him, man, like, I know he is the biggest name on cable news, okay? But his peak ratings, like, just check this, okay? On one of his better nights, when he's got a hot story, 2.5 million viewers. 2.5 million viewers. And that's just the peak for whatever somebody tunes in right at the beginning of this show, or, you know, right at the halfway mark, okay? That's the most people, and they only tune in for a couple of seconds. But you watching this right now, or checking in with other people that are also keeping the Tate's name out there in the zeitgeist, you are watching either 30-second clips, 30-minute long videos, 2-hour-long podcasts, interviews, investigations into the exculpatory evidence, the evidence that helps the defense in this case. And it always just comes back to one simple question. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Yes, we know the charges. Yes, we know that they're heinous. But we also know that they're built on a hill of lies. So why do they continue to be held behind jail, or behind bars rather? Well, because you see this. It's because this is what they want to promote. This is what they want to show you. This is what they want for you. They want the men to be weak. They want the women to be on their knees. Okay, so we have some common ground here. And they are actively and decisively de-incentivizing and devaluing masculinity to pedestalize femininity in its most toxic of forms. Weaponized misinjury. That's about the best way I can define it, because toxic masculinity and toxic femininity don't really exist. Not in my opinion. There's toxic individuals, but can an set of values really be all that toxic? They can be misapplied, but it just all comes down at the end of the day to just shitty people doing things and not having any repercussions for their stupid policies, because that's what we have right here. It's like I started out this video. Who the fuck is Dylan Mulvaney? Okay, prior to putting on makeup, growing out his or her hair, whatever the fuck it is at this point in time, putting on a dress, getting an internship with Biden, I think, or at least an interview. It was a sit-down interview, right? Being a brand ambassador. Now it's starting to come back to me for whatever stupid reason. A brand ambassador for a makeup company. And now, oh my God, I've lived a year as a woman. Stunning and brave. Mediocrity being championed. Excellence. Male excellence being disincentivized. You strive for one, you're held up. You're put on national television. You champion the other, you get thrown behind bars. But don't worry, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Because like I said, hey, put a pin in this for a second. Put a pin in the UK for a moment. And, well, there's a UK woman who made some false claims on some guys who went through some very grisly moments of their life. Mohammed Ramzan, Jordan Tengrove, and many others were falsely accused of EPAR by Eleanor Williams. 3 men tried taking their own lives, and all of them suffered abuse daily. This led to acts of violence towards the Asian community. She's been sentenced to 8.5 years. 8.5 years. 3 guys tried to off themselves. Multiple instances of assault on the would-be attackers, right? The serious crimes. I hate rapists. I think that there's nothing more reprehensible than anybody can do. Like, at least with murder, you put somebody out of their misery. Robbery, you can theoretically replace the item, okay? But you do something that inhumane, locking somebody up for life. Yeah, I see a bunch of light standards on every single street corner that could use some decorations. That would be my approach to things. And you know what's sad in today's day and age? Your modern woman also knows that most guys kind of have that exact same opinion. What do if things don't work out that way? Well, they just weaponize those claims. They've been doing it for fucking ever, man. You just go all the way back in history. You can even go to Emmett Till, man. The last black guy. Not the last guy. guy to actually get lynched, if you know your history. Emmett Till was lynched because a white woman lied about his activities. That was back in, what, the 50s? Well before that. Oh my god, there's story after story of just trifling women causing undue suffering on a man because that's what they felt like that day. Oh, somebody caught me sleeping around. It was against my will. I was attacked. I was trafficked here. I didn't want to do it. Now that we finally have somebody being held accountable, it's not a lot, but it is something. But the fact that it's happening in the UK, is a little bit of a bigger W. A woman who falsely claimed that she was raped by multiple men and trafficked by an Asian grooming gang has been jailed for 8.5 years. Round of applause for that one. Round of applause. Eleanor Williams sparked protests in her Cumbrian hometown of Barrow after posting photos on social media. The injuries, she said, were from beatings. Yeah, apparently she claimed to have taken a hammer to herself and posted a bunch of pictures on social media, eliciting a bunch of response. And it's kind of a hot button topic in the UK because there actually are grooming gangs that do go in on and around the area. This was a woman taking advantage of that situation, trying to clout jack off of actual victims. It's reprehensible actions. But Preston Crown Court heard she inflicted the wounds herself using a hammer. Williams, 22, was found guilty of perverting the course of justice. That's a new one. A 2-day sentencing hearing was told 3 men Williams falsely accused over a 3-day period tried to take their own lives after being targeted and suffering hell on earth. One of them, Jordan Tengrove, spent 73 days in prison. 2+ months in prison, sharing a cell with a convicted sex offender after he was charged with the assault of Williams' claim. Great. Fantastic. It's also, they had been on a night out in March of 2019 when she was taken home after becoming intoxicated. Tale as old as fucking time. Williams later alleged that Mr. Tengrove had her that night, and then on 2 more occasions claiming he attacked her and threatened her with a knife. Sure. Court heard the word grapist spray painted across his house. Great. And I know a lot of people were saying, oh, this is a great development. You know, finally a false accuser is being held accountable. 8.5 years, though. Those guys, those 3 guys, the 3 guys that tried to take their own life, Mohammed Ramzan, Jordan Tengrove, and the other guys that are also just lopped into this situation. Their lives have been completely and totally irrecoverably, I didn't pronounce that right, but I got close, okay, irrevocably, there it is, changed for the worse. Like, their lives have effectively been tainted regardless of this development. Like, there's no going back from this. They're always going to be associated with, oh, weren't you that guy who, you're a sex offender, right? Oh, no, wait, she was the one who lied. But there's always going to be that stigma. And that's the exact same situation that the Tates are going to find themselves in. And that's why all of these false claims that do not have appropriate consequences, because, yeah, 8.5 years, that's a pretty significant time, but obviously it's going to be in the UK. She might do 60% of the time, so let's keep it a buck. But what if it went to trial on the original charges? What if those guys were convicted on something false? That is something that happens quite a bit, mind you. Stories of guys getting let out after decades in prison because new DNA evidence shows that, oh yeah, no, actually she totally made it all up, and then it's like, oopsie daisy. In my opinion, for those false crimes, for those provably false crimes, whatever the maximum sentence is on that one, flip reverse it on the provably false accuser and make them suffer, because that's the only way that this shit stops. I thought that we might be getting some sort of headway with the Amber Heard stuff being so patently false. The fact that she was proven 100% to be the abuser in that relationship, I thought we might crack the dam a little bit, but of course not. That was just wishful thinking once again. And this could have been one of those, hallmark moments where you can see a bunch of people, 4 people getting swept up into some provably false, or even at this point in time, even if there is more evidence on both sides, provably inflated claims. Everybody could have got behind this, and they could have just started to dissect the whole believe all women narrative. But no. Those guys, no, they're bad because society told me to. But then at the same time, society also tells you that a man in a dress with hoop earrings and high heels is also a woman, because that's the way that they identify. Society at large is in a gigantic jam right now, and there's no easy solution out of this, because all of the easy solutions kind of led us to this situation. But just because coming out the other side of this is going to be difficult doesn't mean for 1 second it's not worth fighting for. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.